Okay folks, it's Ghost Critic here with another Longbox history, and we're on to the letter R. Two relatively big series that I collected, now well and truly over. We are going to start with a Rising Stars from Image Top Cow imprint by J. Michael Straczynski. Came out in August 1999, ran for 24 issues, had a couple of mini-series and one-shots and the like. Really liked this series. Centering on these characters which were called specials. Specials were a bunch of, 113 children who were affected by kind of a meteor storm that gave them all incredible powers. Straczynski kind of made this universe where it kind of makes it out that they've never seen superheroes before, and it was very much a look at how society, in the sense of a humanity, kind of dealt with these new characters, and how indeed the specials interacted with the humans in general. It had loads of characters, and the kind of obvious traits of the characters were definitely shown here. The whole story is told by a guy called Poet. It's seen through his eyes, kind of, and narrated throughout, and it has lots of different characters in, basically centering on, we can see quite a few of them here. We have Chandra here. She had kind of the ability to manipulate the way people saw her, whether it was male or female. She would embody the kind of physical ideal that you thought a man or a woman should look like. And basically this power to make you lust after her. We have Patriot here, which is basically your Superman character. Poet here, he's kind of like Batman in that, you know, he's dark and brooding. We find out later on that this character down here, Raven Shadow, is his half-brother. Up here is Matthew Bright, and he's like a police officer. And you get other characters throughout it. There's a young girl who was abused as a child. She's called Critical Mass. And, you know, as with all these kind of books, you know, some of them become really good. Some of them obviously take the more villainous path. And some you kind of, there's a grey area. The first half of the story really centres on Poet investigating into murders of these specials, and what you find out throughout the title is, as a special dies, their powers, or at least their energy of their powers, gets transferred to all the remaining specials, so they become stronger throughout the series until, well, I won't spoil it, but you know, their numbers are greatly reduced, let's put it that way. It did have kind of a very strange and sporadic kind of release date, and I believe this was very much part of Straczynski's battle with it was either Image or it was Top Cow, and he basically said, I'm not going to put any more out until, you know, you meet my demands, kind of thing. And you know, back then Michael Straczynski, you know, okay, he made Babylon 5, but comics wise he wasn't really a huge hitter as such, but I mean, obviously he's certainly a go-to guy now. But that's why towards the end, I mean, it took from, what, August 1999 all the way till March 2005 just for these 24 issues to come out. There was some great stories in here, it has to be said. I loved this series. and getting it from the very beginning. Very lucky to do this. Issue 19. Issue 20. There's a lot of politics within it. The kind of, you know, these superheroes that were becoming a lot stronger and a lot more kind of manipulative. Along the way, even one of the characters becomes the president of the United States, and that brought up lots of kind of questions and issues. Issue 23. And the series finale, issue 24. Now, as I said, there were a lot of kind of one-shots and mini-series. Rising Star issue 0. Issue, is that issue a half? I don't know. And Rising Star's Prelude. Then Matthew Bright, the cop, he had his own 3-issue miniseries just basically called Bright. This was his early days as a policeman. He kept his powers very much a secret until obviously he got found out and was taken off the force because the government had said, you know, none of these specials can be part of any of our federal government organisations. But obviously the police, you know, they really warmed to Matthew Bright and gave him a special badge and costume so he could still kind of work with the police. So yeah, it was a kind of a nice little story at the end. Also, I think this was a 5 or 6 issue miniseries. For some reason I don't have the last one. It's Voices of the Dead, and this is one of the characters that could see dead people and talk to them. So issue 2. Issue 3, 4, and finally issue 5. As I said, I don't know why, but for some reason I don't have issue 6. Very strange. I'll have to look out for that. So that was Rising Stars, and the other kind of big series that's in my collection that that I collected, and that's Red Robin. This is a pre-52 version, just after, I guess, Batman was presumed dead, even though we all knew he'd been thrown into the past, and Red Robin, Tim Drake, took on the mantle of a new version of Red Robin, with Damian being the other kind of mainstream normal Robin. Great series by Chris Yost, artwork by Raymond Bax in the first kind of story arc, and I just love this from start to finish. I really didn't think I was going to, but yeah, the first kind of story arc dealt with Tim Drake not accepting that he thought Batman was dead. Oh wow, look at that. I really like that cover. That's very nice. Yeah, he was still trying to find out where Batman was. He'd never believed that Batman had truly died and he was out there somewhere, and that's what the first kind of issue dealt with. We had Ra's al Ghul involved, and the series really saw Tim Drake as this very much a kind of progeny of Batman, in the sense, you know, he was always looking at the bigger picture, always kind of a few steps ahead of his villains, basically of everybody. And we had the Council of Spiders storyline there. Oh, Batgirl, Stephanie Brown. May she rest in peace. Now the new 52 has appeared and wiped her existence away. There was some nice kind of crossovers dealing with Batman and Robin Dick Grayson and Damien version. Tim Drake and Damien had a rather volatile relationship throughout this series. Yeah, the hit list, where Robin was determined to take some of the more larger characters down. Red Robin versus Robin. The assassination of Tim Drake. People were starting to cotton on that Tim Drake was this new Red Robin, so he had to enlist some friends to make it look like Tim Drake was out of action, so he could continue being Red Robin. Storyline with Anarchy there. Red Robin one shot, the series of Bruce Wayne, The Road Home. They all had kind of interconnecting covers for all the rest that came out at the time. Red Robin Bad Romance. He did have his fair share of ladies after him, which culminated in quite a turn of events right at the very end of this series. But it was amusing how much of the lady action he got. Issue 19. I think if anyone watched any of my videos way back when these all came out, I wasn't a fan of these white covers. Really didn't appeal to me at all. They just look awkward. Issue 20, and it was a kind of 2-issue crossover with the Teen Titans. And as you can see, there's just threw that in there as well. Teen Titans with Robin 92. That was the crossover. I thought I might pick that up just to get the end of the story. Issue 21. Issue 22, Judgment on Gotham. Issue 23. Number 24. Red Robin's Life in the Balance. 25. And finally issue 26, dealing with Captain Boomerang, because obviously Captain Boomerang killed Tim Drake's father in is it Final Crisis, Infinite Crisis, Multiple Crisis, some sort of crisis. So yeah, they were all the R's. I mean, I'll quickly show these things, I've got time. Just the other R's that are in there. Red Sonja issue 1. I love this cover. I love these kind of barbarian, mythical covers. They're just fantastic. And then the first 2 issues of Alan Hickman's Red Wing miniseries, issue 1 and 2. I really didn't enjoy it. It wasn't as great as it was hyped up to be. So I only got the first 2 issues. And that's it for the R's. You will find these videos getting longer and longer now, because as we move on, the comics do get lengthier. I mean, the next one is S, and there's just a ridiculous amount of S's to talk through. So they'll be probably done in parts. I won't put you through like half an hour's worth of a Longbox history video. So that's me out with the R's. I shall speak to you soon. Bye bye.